That's right, more mock the mock. If you're unfamiliar with how this goes, basically we take someone else's mock draft and I give you my opinions on it. I think it's very important to look at how someone else sees the draft, see these prospects, because it opens your mind up to possibilities, or I mean to other prospects. And I think that's just, it opens up for great, amazing, healthy, intimate, sensual football discord. That's what the channel's about. Football discourse, baby. Did I say? I thought I said intercourse for a second. Holy moly. Anyway, this is a very special mock the mock. This is the first members mock the mock. That's right. I pulled a member mock the mock, which if you don't know, I got memberships on the channel. If you become a Bro Scout tier, which you could do right here, I'll have it somewhere on the video. Basically, you get access to the Discord, and I'll pull mock the mocks from there, and I'll mock your mock draft. And today we're pulling Jaeger de Pateau. Hopefully I said that right. It's a doozy of a name, but we pulled his today. We're gonna be taking a look at that. What's crack-lacking? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So go ahead, become a bro, and subscribe. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. It's always much appreciated, much obliged. Leave a comment if you like. I push the whole members thing because honestly, it's probably the best way to be able to communicate with you guys. And there's a lot of perks and more coming as we get bigger. But let's go ahead. Let's dive into this sucker. And we're going to open with the first 5 picks. He's got Trevor Lawrence. Nobody could have anyone else. It totally makes sense. He's, however, got Justin Fields here with the New York Jets. I'm a bit higher on Zach Wilson, but I will concede, hey man, it's pick your flavor. They're kind of like 2A and 2B at this point. So he's got Fields going to the Jets. I agree that they should address quarterback with this pick. And then he has the Dolphins going Jamar Chase, which I also agree with. That's one of the ones I'm pushing. If the Dolphins can't work a trade, then they should go with a playmaker for Tua. Jamar Chase is the top receiver on my board. However, he's got the Atlanta Falcons going with Micah Parsons, especially with some of the stuff surfacing. It's going to be interesting to see how his draft stock may or may not take a hit. But I do like this pick for the Falcons if they don't go quarterback, because Parsons, he's a very interesting prospect that he brings in necessary pass rush, man. That defensive line, really lacks pass rush. And I mean, Parsons, he views himself as a pass rusher, but the way he takes on blocks, I mean, he could honestly be the top edge rusher in this class if he wanted to be. But he also he was solid in coverage, so he gets a bit of that flexibility that Dan Quinn really liked in Vic Beasley and in Bruce Irvin. So I do, granted Dan Quinn's not around anymore, but I think it's an on par comparison. And then the Bengals going Penei Sewell, and this is like ideal for the Bengals. They're hoping Sewell falls to him, and hopefully he does. Let's go with the next 5 picks here. All right, we're looking at the Eagles. They're going Caleb Farley opposed to going receiver, but I mean, that secondary is a mess. This pick, it does make sense. I think probably, unless they plan on blowing the whole thing up and going with the quarterback, I think that corner or wide receiver should be the pick here. I mean, grab weapon, regardless, I mean, it could be Kyle Pitts even too. I mean, they did like running that 2 tight end system with Ertz, which he's probably going to be on the move, and Dallas Goedert. So it could be Pitts. They could go wide receiver, but the secondary is a mess. I think it's important to bring talent and competition to that to the depth there at corner. Farley, he's currently my top corner. It's close with Surtain, but Farley athletically, Surtain can't touch him in that department, and Farley has those traits. So yeah, I'm cool with that. Detroit Lions, they're going quarterback Matthew Stafford. He's on the way out. Zach Wilson, if he falls to 7, what a steal. What a steal. I think you run up the card. Then the Carolina Panthers are going Trey Lance, bit of a developmental prospect at quarterback, but he does have those top tier quarterback tools. That's what makes him such a very, I guess, a popular prospect. A lot of people see Josh Allen type potential when it comes to Trey Lance just because of the arm strength, the athletic ability. So Panthers, they got a perfect bridge quarterback with Teddy Bridgewater. So yeah, I'm cool with that. The Denver Broncos go Kwity Paye. I think this is a bit interesting. I think Surtain would be a good fit here. But, I mean, Kwity Paye, man, to his own right, guy that could probably play 3-4 end. He could play a bit on the outside if they do want to move on from Von Miller. I think he can be a free agent this year if they don't pick up his option. So I like that. Add more pass rush, especially. I mean, if you're not going to grab help for the secondary, or at least, yeah, if you're not going to grab help for the secondary, then at least get guys that can get to the quarterback fast to buy your corner some time. And then the Dallas Cowboys go Patrick Surtain. The guy, he may not have these elite traits, but he has elite production at the SEC. Same thing I put over with Cameron Dantzler, where I loved his production in the SEC for 3 consecutive seasons. And then at the combine, he kind of screwed himself with, his arm length's not what we anticipated to be. He ran like a 4.6 in the 40s. It really tanked his stock, but for the most part, he was actually one of the better rookie corners this season. And Surtain, I bring that comparison because Surtain's a much better prospect. This guy is a deep ball defender. He's actually got really good lateral movement skills, so you could put him in the slot if you like. So I do like Surtain for this pick. Cowboys, they need help on defense, especially at secondary. On to the next 5, and we're looking at Devontae Smith here, going to the Giants. Get Danny Dimes some weapons, give him a fighting chance, and then move on from him next year if you really want to. So he grabs Devontae Smith, man. Very interesting. I mean, Darius Slayton, he's kind of the big speed target. Devontae Smith, the Slim Reaper himself, he kind of got that concern with him. Will his size translate? I bet that it will, but I'm cool with him grabbing more weapons for Daniel Jones. I might go Waddle maybe instead, but I mean, people are like, oh no, they like big, fast receivers. Well, I mean, Waddle is phenomenal. I mean, don't be hating on size. I'm sure Joe Judge would love Tyreek Hill. So Rashawn Slater going to the Niners. So yes, no corner on the board for them to pick here. So I think grabbing the interior, I think, is very important. I mean, I assume they're going to go another year with Jimmy G. Slater, a lot of people project him to be a potential guard at the NFL level, at least immediately, though he's never played anywhere on the interior at the collegiate level. They just assume that because of his size, his arm length. But the guy has enough athletic and technical ability to stay there on the outside, especially if they can't retain Trent Williams. This pick makes sense. Then Kyle Pitts going to the Chargers. I like that, honestly, if they can't retain Hunter Henry. Kyle Pitts is a guy that gives you a lot of versatility. He can play on the outside, inside. He can play on in line. I mean, you got to wonder, are there any better picks here that maybe hits a position of need? But, you know, I mean, screw position of need, man. Go with value. Pitts is value. And then Minnesota Vikings grabbing Jalen Waddle, I found very interesting, which I'm totally okay with. Honestly, Waddle and Justin Jefferson, that's scary for the future, especially if they eventually want to move on from Adam Thielen after this season. I mean, that could potentially be there. Waddle would be a phenomenal addition there with Justin Jefferson. That's just some scary receivers, unless they start really playing like 3 wide, because often when they go 3 wide, they will typically kick like Irv Smith out there. So it'll be a bit interesting. I mean, they could still keep Thielen and make this work. So I do like this. And then Rashad Bateman going to the Patriots. I love Bateman, don't get me wrong, but I think this Patriots team needs more speed, and I think there's speedier receivers in this class. I mean, Kadarius Toney would be interesting here, but I mean, you don't want to, honestly, you don't want to, you kind of want to find more vertical threat. And to be fair, Bateman is a vertical threat in his own right. Just doesn't have that, you know, he doesn't have the elite speed of guys like of a guy like Waddle. And the more I'm actually talking about this, the more I do like this pick, and I'll be fascinated to see if the Patriots do decide to bring in a veteran quarterback, maybe make a move for Matthew Stafford. I mean, they could go a lot of different ways here. Bateman, by no means, I think, is the wrong call. I mean, let's be honest though, Bill Belichick, he's probably going to be trading down anyway. On to the next 5. J.C. Horn going to the Cardinals. And I feel like this one's a popular mock too, just because it's a good scheme fit. And it's like, are there any better guys on the board that the Cardinals would take? It's kind of hard to say. I mean, Azeez Ojulari, who's going to go with the next pick, I like a lot. And, you know, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if the Cardinals picked him up with, you know, Chandler Jones. He's kind of getting up there in age. And then, you know, you have Hassan Reddick, who's a free agent, which I imagine they're going to bring him back. They could go a Kadarius Toney, be a bit spicy, a bit interesting. So I feel like J.C. Horn, though, is a safe pick. And then the Raiders, this is one of my favorite things to mock too, is having Azeez go to the Raiders. They need help in terms of pass rush. He will do that. Xavier Collins going to the Dolphins. It's really going to be the Dolphins are going to pick who they're more comfortable with. Like, I like JOK, and him being still on the board here, I kind of maybe prefer him because I feel Collins could be a bit more Kyle Van Noy-esque. So I don't know if you want two of those on the field at the same time. But, I mean, Collins could drop back into coverage. And honestly, like, they could bring in a guy like Nick Bolton out of Mizzou to replace Jerome Baker, who was kind of so-so last season. So this will be interesting. And then Washington, the football team. They're going Kadarius Toney. Yes, if you've seen my mock draft or you saw my mock with Mel Kiper, I'm starting to come around to this pick. If they can't go quarterback, I don't know if they'd really want to go Mac Jones. I'll be interested to see, so I'm totally okay with this. Christian Darrisaw making it all the way here. I really honestly believe he's somehow, I think he's going to get picked in the top 15. But, I mean, the draft is crazy. Guys can fall. The Bears can get him. Then, yeah, I'm totally down. Maybe they go Mac Jones, though, because he's looked really good at the Senior Bowl, or at least he did today. Showed a lot of poise. And, I mean, the Bears, they need to do something. They can't get stuck in the same cycle of just being mediocre that they are with Mitch Trubisky. So maybe I go Mac Jones here. And then on to these next few picks. You know, Indianapolis Colts go Samuel Cosmi. Cosmi's kind of fallen out of the first round for a lot of people because people are just starting to like other prospects in this. It's a very deep tackle class, and honestly, Cosmi's lack of physicality, it's kind of hurting him. I mean, he may be one of the most athletic tackles in this class, but when he does get beat, it's typically because of power. And will he be able to hold up at the NFL level on the outside there? I'm willing to bet that he does. So the Colts, they go ahead, they get their replacement for Anthony Costanzo. They could go another, this could be another Mac Jones landing spot. So, yeah. The Titans, I don't like them grabbing Gregory Rousseau. I know a lot of people may be mocking this. I mean, Mel Kiper just did. But I feel like you're getting just a guy who his ceiling is Jadeveon Clowney, and you just failed that experiment. You know, you just dished out $10, $11 million this past year for him to be there for half the season and really not do nothing in terms of pass rush. So I don't know if the Titans do the same. I think there's better pass rushers on the board. Man, I mean, honestly, Boogie Basham would be kind of fun here, but I think Jason Away might be the better fit. So I'm not in love with that. The Jets, I know Joe Douglas loves him, the trenches. Elijah Vera Tucker, I don't know if they go Vera Tucker, man. I feel like you can go corner here. You can maybe get one of the fallen prospects, which, I mean, honestly, in this draft, not a lot of people are falling. I mean, you know what? I think Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah is still on the board. I might go him, you know? So that might be interesting. I mean, regardless, it'll be pretty interesting to see what they do with the Jets picks here. I mean, Vera Tucker, if our boy Yeager here is projecting Joe Douglas makes this pick, then yeah, I could definitely see it. And then the Pittsburgh Steelers go Alex Leatherwood. I'm starting to fall less in love with Leatherwood, unfortunately. He had a really bad day at the Senior Bowl today. I mean, he's got the ideal length there to stick on the outside, but man, his footwork is just so slow. He was beat constantly by Quincy Roche. And then even William Bradley Keene had a sick pass rush that, I mean, almost pushed him into the quarterback. It was It was bad. Leatherwood, you start to wonder, does this guy maybe translate better to guard? I think maybe Tevin Jenkins is a better fit for the Steelers here. So, yeah, I think Leatherwood's probably, his time in the first round is probably up in terms of mocks. And then the Jaguars go Trevon Merririg, which someone corrected me. This whole time I thought it was Morig. I've heard it pronounced Morig. Apparently it's Merririg. But he's probably the top safety in this class. I think he somehow sneaks into the first round. Jaguars, they could definitely use some help in the secondary. He provides that. You got to think, man, do you go JOK here? I mean, you probably go best player available, and I feel like he would be. Be very interesting when I get my big board together next week. Be on the look for that. So, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah ends up making it here for the Browns. So good on the Browns, man. They grab a fallen prospect. Nick Bolton, I think, might be a better scheme fit for these guys, but it is what it is. Wyatt Davis going to the Ravens. I mean, honestly, I don't think this is a bad pick. You know, if Greg Roman is going to stick with a more simplistic passing scheme there, then, I mean, then you might as well try to stick it out with this heavy run, just heavy running game plan, heavy run type system you have there in Baltimore if you don't plan to take Lamar Jackson to the next step in him becoming a better passer. So yeah, why not go for Davis, who was a phenomenal run defender there, or run blocker for Ohio State the last couple of years. Nick Bolton falling to the Saints. I like this. Demario Davis, eventually they're going to have to move on. The guy is up there. Tyson Campbell is a favorite of mine going to the Packers. I think he's a real good scheme fit. He is a fringe first rounder, so I like it. And then the Buffalo Bills, me and him discussed this in the Discord, which, become a member, man. You should. It's fun. It's great. It's a good time. But I do like the idea of Asante Samuel going to the Bills. I was saying Campbell and Samuel, they're probably the next fringe first rounders in terms of the cornerback class. And Samuel is very, very diverse in what schemes he can fit. He can play on the outside, he can play on the inside, he can be man, zone. A lot of people worry about him, about his size. I don't, because athletically he is a freak. And I mean, the dude has been a ball hawk, so you could start him immediately on the interior, or in the slot, or you could work him on the outside. So I really like this pick. Let's go to the final two here. Jalen Phillips going to the Bucks. See, for me, the Bucks, I feel like they need to go with a immediate starter. I don't know if Phillips is that. They may lose Shaq Barrett, but I don't know if Phillips is an immediate starter. There are concerns with the concussion, but I mean, there's no doubt, and he has first round, he has top 15 potential, and that's the thing. So I mean, honestly, it's great value on a prospect. You hope that concussions don't become a thing again, you know. And then I really love Carlos Basham as a fit here for the Chiefs. And I actually really liked Basham for Tampa, because I think immediately he could be an improvement over William Golston there. But Chiefs, Spag, he liked them big, athletic edge rushers. I don't think that should be like, I don't think that for him it should mean, because that's the thing, dude. The Chiefs, they don't get adequate pass rush from the outside. And I don't think that should pigeonhole him into, hey, this guy's not the right size for us, so nick him off our board. If the guy gets, if he's produced as a pass rusher, grab it. You need guys with these elite pass rush tools. Fortunate for them, Basham here, dude's got a mean bull rush. He could sneak to the inside if you really want to. So yeah, I like this pick overall. It was a pretty quality mock draft, I think. So good job on you, brother. But that's it for the video. Go ahead, do that YouTube thing. It's always much appreciated, much obliged. And until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.